Good morning. Welcome to Woodland Chapel Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Moore Horton, Senior Minister these days, and I'm so glad to see each one of you here. It's a beautiful day, and it's a wonderful day to be in the chapel. We have some announcements. Is there anyone joining us for the first time? Conrad and Lillian, I believe. Welcome. Have you received a packet to get with information about the church? Okay, good. We'd love to talk to you afterwards and come down to hospitality when we're all done. We have usually coffee and some goodies. Next Sunday, August 3rd, is our potluck luncheon. All are invited to share. There's a sign-up sheet in the library. Our next garden work party is on August the 9th from 9:30 to 11:30. Bring gardening tools. And then right afterwards, at 11:30 to 3, we have a community outreach crafting project. We've had a lot of fun brainstorming and creating small handouts for use in Salem community events, such as the Pride Festival. Our next Soup for the Soul fundraiser is on August the 17th. You can sign up here in the kitchen or the library to bring soup, bread, or help with cost setup. The cost is $5. Went up from 3. Well, you can give more than that if you like. Remember, we will have an outdoor service on the last Sunday in August. Childcare is available during the service, so bring the kiddies or grandchildren. Confidential prayer request forms are in the pews. They go to our practitioners or ministers who will contact you if you ask. And if you want to serve at Woodland Chapel, there are 4 volunteer sign-up sheets in the library identifying areas to serve. For other types of support, talk to our ministry team or office manager, Cheryl guests. Are there any other announcements that need to be made at this time? All right. I think we should sing. What are we going to sing, Ari?
Oh, we're going to sing a wonderful song by Reverend Dr. Ricky Byers. I Release. If you can and you're up for it, will you please stand and join me? I've got a little intro that I'm going to sing before I bring you all in for it. There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free. Spirit, yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Woo! Yeah, thank you. Give yourself a round of applause there.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Thank you.
All right, we got one more. Are we up for another one?
We have another one. I thought we were going to go invitation for prayer. And I want to introduce Donna Stevens, our practitioner, who will be leading the prayer. But Ari's going to bring us in with a song.
The words are also in your bulletin for this one. I send my love. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heaven, and it returns to me. Let's do joy. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heaven, and it returns to me. Peace, I send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. Let's do love one more time. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heaven, and it returns to me. What does it do? Yes, it returns to me. Yeah.
Good morning, friends. It's now time to go within. If you'll join me in closing your eyes. There's one energy, one mind, one power, and that power is my power now. And what I know to be true for myself, I know to be true for everyone, everywhere. We've heard about being the pebble that causes the ripples. However, we tend to focus on the ripples and forget about the pebble. The pebble settles into the depths of the stillness, where it experiences fulfillment. Be fulfilled in the stillness of spirit. I live in the knowing that my presence brings joy to the world. I create ripples of joy, and I am settled in the stillness of love. My heart is open to the message and the music of the day. My heart is bursting with joy, knowing this is the truth. And I release this truth to the law, knowing it is done. And if any of this resonates with you, please say with me, and so it is. Now, if you open your bulletin to the first page and look at what's highlighted in blue, that's our affirmation for the day. Please say it with me. Wow, this is a brand new day. So I'm choosing to celebrate love, service, and my amazing life. And so it is. Thank you.
And now our good friend Catherine Kim will be reading, she's also our Secretary of the Board, for today's reading, Science of Mind.
Thank you, Moore. Good morning. You are responsible for 100% of your life and every choice you make. The moment you take full ownership of your decisions, you unlock an extraordinary power within yourself. You become the master of your destiny. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of doubt, it's not something that happens to you, it happens for you. It's there to teach you, to push you, to propel you toward growth. Life doesn't just show up. It's created by your actions, your decisions, your ability to shift your perspective. Every step, every choice, every action is shaping, even creating your own reality, in the spirit of Tony Robbins. Today's reading is entitled, We Are Each Responsible. It comes from the Centers for Spiritual Living Science of Mind magazine, which is available in the library. Several years ago, I started a speaking business. I offered a number of topics I could speak on, and the one most people chose was pushed by pain and pulled by vision. I wondered why so many people chose that one. Eventually, I came to the conclusion that many people are in a painful place in life. Many feel lost, not sure where life is taking them. The truth is, you and I are responsible for our lives. Nothing happens by chance. We are given the gift of writing our own stories. If we don't focus our thinking, we bring confusion into our lives. When we focus, we send a clear message to the universe, and all the power of the universe comes forth to assist us. Stephen Covey writes about people who are either haves or bees. The haves say, I'll be happy when. The bees say, I can be happy even if things aren't exactly as I want them to be. The difference is that the haves are outer focused, while the bees are inner focused. Whenever we think the problem is out there, the thought is the problem, because we want what's out there to control us. That must change before we can have any meaningful change in our lives. Our lives work much better when we live from the inside out rather than from the outside in. Ernest Holmes, in his book Creative Mind, says, life is for today. There will be no change for tomorrow unless we do the changing for today. Today we are setting in motion the power of tomorrow. Today is God's day, and we must extract from it what of life we are to live. And the bonus affirmation of the day, I affirm that I am 100% responsible for the life I am creating. With each thought, word, and action, I align myself with the power within, and together with Spirit, co-create a life of wonder and joy. And in the words of William Wallace, freedom. Thank you.
Hello again. I know many of you. My name's Ari Harris, for those of you that I don't know. Hello. My first song that I'm going to share this morning is called We Can Be Kind. And it's a song that I know by a singer, Anne Lamott, but it was actually written by David Friedman, for those of you keeping score out there. So many things we can't control, so many hurts that happen every day, so many heartaches that pierce the soul, so much pain that won't ever go away. How do we make it better? How do we make it through? What can we do when there's nothing we can do? We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same things. And maybe we'll find that if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Does anybody really want to fight? Does anyone really want to go to war? If everyone wants to make things right, then what are we always fighting for? Does nobody want to see it? Does nobody understand? The power to heal is right here in our hands. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same things. And maybe we'll find that if we are kind to each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And it's not enough to sing about it, not enough to talk to. We must walk our walk about it, do or die, you and I. We've got to try to get along. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same things. And maybe we'll find if we are kind to each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And maybe we'll find true peace of mind if we always remember we can be kind. Thank you.
It is our pleasure this morning to welcome to the speaker stand our certified licensed practitioner, Cheryl Guess, who's also in study for ministry. But I would just say, let's welcome her with a big hand.
Good morning. Isn't this a beautiful day to be alive? I mean, look at it. It is a fabulous day out there. And all these fabulous, happy people here. Obviously by divine urge. Why else would you be here, right? Right. I would just like to say that with the reading and the prayer, that I might as well not just go sit down because both of them covered it so beautifully. Thank you so much for what you did, Catherine and for Donna. Beautiful, beautiful prayers. And so as we go into this today, my talk is about, who moved my talk? There it is. Freedom of choice. And I wanted to speak about this because it's July and it's our 4th of July. I know it's the end of the month, but it is still the month that we kind of celebrate our freedom as citizens of this country. But we also need to celebrate the freedom that we have within us, that freedom of choice. Because free will or volition, whatever you want to call it, is a huge, major responsibility. I don't think I ever thought of it that way until just recently, that all of my actions, all of my movements, all of my words are by my choice. That is really, you think if I go this way or if I go that way, it's still my choice. If I'm standing up here today, it's still my choice. If you're sitting out here today, it is still your choice. And that is something that is the greatest gift, I believe, that Spirit has given us. The freedom to decide how we're going to live our lives. And that's really big. I mean, it's almost scary if you think about it. Like, what if I make the wrong decision? Then I'm going to pay the consequences. Well, of course you are. But what if you make a right decision? You're going to still pay the consequences. Why did consequences become a negative word? It doesn't have to be. You can create wonderful, different types of consequences within your life. And a lot of them can be good because of the good you put into them. It's like when we talk about with, the difference in our lives that, we think that are caused by outside influences. And then we start to think of ourselves as a victim. But that is your choice. You get to choose if somebody's words hurt you. You get to choose how you're going to lead your life. And so we cannot live, according to Ernest Holmes, we cannot live a choiceless life. Every day, every moment, every second, there is a choice. If it were not so, we would not be individuals. So the thing about choice, though, in free will, we get to choose how we appear in the world. So sometimes we have this thing about good and evil. And when we talk about science of mind, we talk about, that God is good. Well, what about evil? First of all, evil is not a separate entity. The only place you find evil in nature is in the hearts of man. I've never met an evil tree. I've never met an evil anything. I might have met a dog that I want to define as evil, but then I have to step back and say, no, that dog was taught that. Just like prejudice, hatred, racism, those are all learned behaviors. We are not born that way. I remember my daughter as a child coming to me one time, and her favorite friend in preschool, and 4-year-old preschool, was Jeremy. And she's playing with Jeremy every day, and she would talk about Jeremy when she'd come home and what they did. And I was like, oh, that's fun, you have a friend. And then one day she came home and she said, Mom, guess what? Jeremy let me touch his hair today, and it's all springy. And I let him touch mine, and he said it was so soft. And then I realized that Jeremy was black. But my daughter had no concept of that, just he had different hair. And I love that about her. I love that about trying to teach her that there's no difference between us at all, except some of us have more pigment in our skin than others. But we are all still spiritual beings. We are individualized expressions of God, each and every one of us. So you can say, well, there's no evil. Well, as a child, maybe you grew up as in an abusive relationship. Maybe you've been in abusive relationships. So I will give you a buy on one thing. As a child, you had no control over what happened in your life because you had an adult that was either inflicting or loving you, inflicting abuse on you or just inflicting love on you, whichever one it was. But once you turn 18, I'm sorry, all bets are off. then you are in control of your life. Now, if you want to drag all that baggage with you and continue to be that suffering person, guess what? You have free will. You get to do that if you want to. You get to hurt for the rest of your life if you choose to. But can you make the choice to forgive? That was Jesus' greatest gift to us. Love and forgiveness. That was all of his thing. Everything about Jesus was about love and forgiveness. And if you feel like you just can't forgive that person, I had a person like that in my life. I thought there's no way ever I could forgive this person for what they did. But then I had to step back. And I started looking at them, which is even worse maybe sometimes, but I started pitying them, pitying the fact that they were so damaged and so hurt that they had to inflict abuse on someone else. And that was their choice, because guess what? They have free will. Just like the people that are dictators, that are cruel and horrible to their people, they are still spiritual beings, no matter how ugly they appear to us in life. The reality is they are exercising their free will in a negative way, just like you can. Every time you're rolling down the road and you get irritated with somebody and you say something about it out loud, and then you think, oh, that wasn't very nice. But the reality is that you're exercising your free will. If you're being nasty to somebody, you're exercising your free will. If you're being loving, kind, and warm, you're still free will. So it all comes back to one thing. And I know that trauma has ramifications in our life, and I know that we sometimes end up with really deep wounds, really hard things to accept in our lives. But we don't have to let everybody poke that wound. We don't have to keep poking it ourselves by living it over and over and over again. And that's what we do. Every time it comes into your mind, you're reliving the horror of something that happened to you. And I'm not saying just put it away and pretend like it didn't happen. I'm saying take it out, examine it, look at what this person or situation caused in your life, and then try to forgive it by, if nothing else, feeling sorry for that person. If nothing else, having compassion in your heart for somebody that is obviously more wounded than you are. But how do you come out of it? That's what I like to point out to people. Yes, you went through this trauma. Yes, you went through all this stuff. And you've come to me for prayer. And I can say to you, but look who you are now. You're this warm, loving, kind, and good person that came out of a trash heap of pain and emotion. But look where you are right now. You made the choice to exercise your free will and not let it define who you are. By taking on the abuse, by keep living it over and over and over again, you're giving power to that situation. And by giving it power, you're causing it to cause more harm and more hurt within you. You ever think of it that way? It's how we embody what happens to us and how we present ourselves in the world. And I'm not talking about a mask, like, oh, I'm so happy, everything's so good, yay, yay life, yay life. And then you get home and you kick the dog because you're mad, because you're angry. So what kind of person is that? That's a person that wears a mask. And that's what I love. I always speak about him because I love him. Lao Tzu, ancient philosopher, wrote the Tao, 84 verses in the Tao. Or is it 82? Anyway, whatever. But one of the verses says that a man is an actualized human being when he is the same in private as he is in public. When you're always the same person. That you don't put on a mask for going out in public and pretending everything is, la la land, but You're hiding the pain within. And when you keep burying that pain and you keep pretending it's not there by putting on your mask, you're not healing. You're just keeping yourself in a perpetual state of illness and ill health. So when you think about it, that's the other thing. Our words and thoughts are a choice. And I know sometimes my mind can be just spinning and I'm going down rabbit holes all over the place. What if, what if, what if, what if? But the reality is that I can stop myself. And sometimes stopping myself requires me to go and look for the root of what is causing this anxiety, what is causing this fear within me. It's a fear of lack, a fear of limitation. I can't do that. Why? Why can't you do that? Well, I'm not an astronaut. Okay, well, I'll accept that. But anything else, anything you set your mind to, you are capable of creating. I know, I've said this before, I'm sorry, Dick Tracy, my hero. Remember his watch? He could talk to it and he'd talk back to him and all. Somebody thought of that, and guess what? Now it's a reality. Anything that we can conceive of and believe, we can create. I can create a new, fresh perspective within myself at any moment. Sometimes that's all it takes for me is just like one little click of something and suddenly, oh, why am I going there? Why am I doing this? I've actually had people put rubber bands on their wrist. No, not to pop themselves, but to stop the thinking. So every time you think about something, take that rubber band off your wrist and put it on the other one. I once had a dream. I had one that was a little purple bracelet, and I dreamed that I'd taken it off my wrist and put it on the other wrist to stop negative thinking so many times that it was now so big I was wearing it around my neck. So obviously I was doing something right, changing it. It was the weirdest dream, but I was walking around with this big thing on my neck. But feeling lack and limitation, it's a choice. That's what you have to keep reminding yourself when you're in that spot, when you're in that place where it's not feeling right within you. It's a choice to say, wait a minute, let's step back. Sometimes all it takes for me is to walk outside and be in nature. For some reason, when I walk out and I'm in nature, I am like in the most peaceful, serene place. And it's really difficult then to be negative when I'm feeling this calm and this peaceful and this loving and this warm and this beautiful, beautiful sense of nature. So merely, according to Holmes, merely to abstain from wrong thinking is not enough. There must be active right thinking. So that's what we talk about when we do prayer work for people. We do not pray for the other thing to go away. We pray for it to be replaced with something better. I can't make it go away, only you can. But I can pray that you can see that you have the choice to think of something better, that you can replace it with something better. You know, Jesus only taught 2 laws, like I said, forgiveness and love. Forgiveness is the hard one. And you can't just say in one day, okay, I forgive everything that ever happened in my life. Yes, you can, but I guarantee you, you will have to say that multiple times because it comes creeping back in when things get low or you get low or you're not feeling well. You'll automatically, something just went wrong in your life, you'll automatically go back to that place of lack and limitation. I'm not good enough. I didn't do it well enough. I must have failed in some way. But that's your choice to feel that way. And that's why having free will is a huge responsibility. I mean, I think about it, and it's like everything I do, every action I take, every word I speak, every thought in my mind is because I have free will. But I also have the free will to change it too. And that's the hard thing, is we don't realize we can change our lives at any moment in a flash. We have to keep working at it sometimes, but it can happen. I find that the best way for me is to rewrite the story, to look at it from a different perspective. Instead of it being my truth, and by God, that is the truth. I know because I was there, I witnessed it. This is the absolute truth. But if you look from the other person's point of view, which is hard for us to do because we're so into our truth, you'll see that they absolutely believe their truth is the truth as well. So I like to think of it this way. I have my truth, you have your truth. The real truth is somewhere in the middle. There's not one absolute truth for anyone. There's always room for wiggle. There's always room to say, I got offended. I didn't know why I was offended, but I was offended, so they are at fault. But no, you chose to take the offense. Ooh, isn't that awful? You can't blame it on anyone anymore. It's what you choose to allow into your life. Other people's words, other people's actions. When you can reach the point to where you can forgive them, but sometimes that's really, really difficult. And sometimes it is, they say forgive and forget. I don't think you can ever really, truly, absolutely forget that. But you can forgive it. And then you can pray that they're blessed. You pray for their best and highest, furthest good. Further away from you. You do not have to allow yourself to be walked on again. You can forgive and still make the decision that thank you for showing me who you are, and you're not someone that I really choose to keep in my life. Thank you. And bless them. So one of the things that about free will that people have a difficult time accepting is that when something really horrible happens in the world, we think, where was God? Why wasn't God stepping in and saving and rescuing and doing all this other stuff? Because then we wouldn't have free will. If God could arbitrarily just stop in and say, okay, I'm going to fix your life, I'm fixing you, all right, you're all fixed, then we no longer have free will. Because then we're just like paper dolls that God's putting in position. Okay, this one's going to have a good life. This one's going to have a really kind of crappy life. But the reality is that we create. We create our lives. We create the atmosphere around us. We create the atmosphere that's in this chapel right now, in this moment, by our thoughts and our words and our actions. So you see why I think that it's a huge, major responsibility, free will. Because you don't get to be the victim. You don't get to be a martyr. You don't get to do anything except be responsible for your own actions. And remember, you have absolutely zero control over what someone else does. Unless they're a 2-year-old and you pick them up and you put them in bed, then you have control. But other than that, whatever people do, they're coming from their own space. They're coming from their own pain, or they're coming from their own good. All the good that's within them. And that's where I like to celebrate, where I want to live. I want to live in a kind and compassionate world. So how do I do that? I create kindness and compassion for other people. But I'd like to remind you something, too. When he said, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you, do unto yourself as you would have others do unto you. Set your boundaries. Know yourself. Know what is acceptable and what's not. And know how to just let that unfold in your life. Staying by your principles. Staying within that place. And it's easy to fall out of. Of course, we all get irritated and frustrated and things like that. But if we just try our best at all times to remain in that place of kindness and compassion, it makes a huge difference in our lives. So I'd just like to close with this. Let go of your mask. Put it away. Let us see that authentic, beautiful, individualized expression of spirit that is you. Let it show up in your everyday life. See what a difference it makes to others. When you can remain the calm person in the room, that is a huge power, because that means that you've put away all the little petty slights and hurts and things that have, affected who you are or made you who you are, and you've let them go so that you can just live in a place of warmth and love and compassion. So thank you, and namaste. You can do the offertory prayer. You want to say it's time for our offertory? Or is it? No, we got another song. Grab a song. Okay.
I'm going to play a song I wrote. It's called What's Over Is Done. When the dead of the night is taking all of the light from the day that I just left behind, I lay in my bed, I should be sleeping instead, but I swirl around in my head. Another lost song that I knew all along, but I didn't write it down. Another day's gone, and oh, how I long for the simple gift of time. What's over is done, may have lost, may have won, but I made it through somehow. Each step a surrender, every breath a reminder, there's only here and now. I look up at the sky, the stars are shining bright. I wonder if they ever get tired. Do the flowers and trees ever catch the disease of missing an earlier season? Oh, another leaf's fallen, another year's gone, but I don't need to feel let down. A part of a system, nature's magic creation, and the growth, it never stops. What's over is done, may have lost, may have won, but I made it through somehow. Each step a surrender, every breath a reminder, there's only here and now. Another year's gone, and I knew all along, but I didn't write it down. Thank you.
Thank you, Ari, for the beautiful music today. It's wonderful. Every part of life is a gift in so many ways. The fact that we're here, the fact that we're aware, and the wonderful fact that we have choice. So join me in choosing to support this chapel by giving a gift of your taking, of your making, and perhaps you brought a check, perhaps you brought a thought, perhaps you have already given electronically. In any case, please join me in reading the offertory affirmation, which begins with the word, divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
The blessings of the universe are distributed equally to all. All is available for us to choose to accept these gifts. The gift of nature, the gift of the goodness of life. The choices we make embody the spirit of creation, of the creator, of the source, of the one which is love. And so we accept all gifts this morning and all thoughts and all encouragement and are so grateful for all that is. And so let us join now in saying, and so it is. If you'd like to stand, we can do our prayer of protection. It's in the program. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God protects us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now we'll sing our peace song, which is also in the program. Please join hands.
Peace.
Okay, Carmen. Let's hear it. Belt it out.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally.
with the service dog. The guy with the service dog. Who else could we get? There's one.
I'm glad you came here.
Oh, one more hug.